First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth. And a shout out to Yakim that's out there in the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. As we know, we're in the times of the end, as we can see that Esau, the devil, has come down having great wrath. And we know that judgment starts in the house of Israel. So this devil, Esau, the king of Babylon, Donald J. Trump, is coming down hard on us 12 tribes. And as we know, the northern kingdom right now, Issachar, is being judged. Well, now it's already started hitting the southern kingdom. As of next year, Levi will also be deported very shortly here. So, you know, that's happening as well. And so we know that the RFID implement is coming, you know, and he's going to force this mark upon everyone, you know, especially us 12 tribes, because, you know, in order to prove legal residency here, you know, you have to have an identification device, so that way they know who's coming in and who's going out. And we had already prophesied that this is what Donald J. Trump was planning, you know, and pretty much, you know, he's just the holding company for Big Brother. And Big Brother, you can refer to that as Amalek, as the Rothschild Rockefellers, you know, who run everything, you know. And so we know that the deep state owns them, even though, you know, he pretends to be something else. He pretends that he's coming against the deep state. They want you to believe that. Yeah, it's like believing the Democrats and the Republicans are really two separate parties, but they're the same party being controlled by the same bank. That is the Rothschild Rockefeller Bank, you know. And so here's a bad omen that's already happening with all these celebration of fireworks, you know, celebrating that wickedness. Fires are everywhere now, you know, as a result of it, you know. Kind of reminds me when I was younger, you know, we knew somebody who lived on a hill, and that one day that would be the end, because, you know, that house had come close to fire so many times, then one time, that's all it took was a spark to light it, you know, because fields everywhere, and sure enough, that house did catch on fire, and the lady's husband, he died as a result of the carbon monoxide poisoning, you know, just because stupid motherfuckers want to celebrate that wickedness, you know. And so it was the death of him, you know, just like that, you know. And, you know, I'll never forget that image, you know, of that hill burning because of this wicked celebration. And, you know, I also have another omen that happened, you know, pretty much almost got killed by a drunk driver because of bullshit New Year's, you know, and that's why we're not to celebrate or partake in any of these things. Curses automatically come just out of stupidity, because Esau, he can't control himself, you know. He can't control himself at the party, you know. You give him too many drinks and he's a fucking asshole, because that comes out, you know, pretty much, you know. So what do you think that these celebrations are, you know? And why would you want to celebrate your slavery? That doesn't even make any sense, you know. There was never, ever a such thing as freedom, you know, because we ain't seen it. You know, freedom is when you're in power and in control. We have not been in power nor in control ever since we were taken out of power, when Satan, who is Esau, had come down from the cliffs of the rocks and started taking over Europe, you know, which he likes to call the Renaissance era, you know, renovated us, changed our images, and put his up, you know, to even look like the Most High and the people of the Most High, you know, and they've been lying for a very long time, convincing everyone that they're the Jews, that they're the, you know, they're the Greeks, they're everything, you know. Esau's put himself everywhere, but yet has torn down the original landmarks of the people that originated. Even Adolf Hitler had changed the noses on a lot of the Egyptian sculptures because it had proved that those were Hamites, and they wanted to continue the lie that, you know, Ishmael is who the Egyptians are. But they won't tell you that. They'll just make you think that, oh, those are the Egyptians, you know, that they've always been there. Those aren't the Egyptians. That's Ishmael. And that's why a lot of those sculptures were changed, you know. And, you know, that's just on a short note. But Esau, you know, he likes to stay in power, that he changed the images of Mozart, of Beethoven, of King James, to make you believe that so-called white man was all those people, which he's none of the above, you know. So, you know, he never wants to give credit. And that's why, you know, like everything else, though, you know, he's coming to his end. And so the best thing he can do now is just hold on to that power structure just a little bit longer. you know. And judgment always begins with the house of Israel, you know. And so now the southern kingdom is being judged. It's just been announced, you know, that Haitians, which are Levi, are now going to be deported as of next year, that they have to leave this bitch Amerika, you know. You know, so you go from one fucked up place to another, you know, because we'll never be free until such time as Yahushua delivers us from this place. That is when 200 million nuclear missiles come and destroy this place. So I'm going to read out of Nahum chapter 3, which I think most of us know that chapter. But, you know, it's a very good chapter because we're in that bloodied city now, which is known as Amerika, Babylon the Great. So I'm just going to read right out of it. Waiting for this to load. Nahum chapter 3, starting verse 1. Woe to the bloody city, it is all full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not. The noise of a whip, and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and of the prancing hooks, and of the jumping chariots. Well, what's that talking about? Well, it's talking about how we were brought here, you know, and just how it continues. You know, they set up proxies all around the world to demolish kingdoms and pretty much enslave everyone. So the horseman lifteth up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none in of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses, you know, and that's just talking about all these kingdoms that Esau, so-called white man, has torn down, you know. Look at Syria, look at Libya, look at Iraq. You know, those are just more recents, you know. It's kind of like, you know, and I reiterate this, you know, Edomite had commentated on, you know, one of my videos and just saying that, oh, well, the Edomites today, they are innocent, you know, they have done nothing wrong. And I'm just like, well, look at Libya, Iraq, Syria, you know, Yemen. Look at all these proxy wars that Amerika has started, you know, just alone. Not to mention all the other kings they brought down within the last 50 years. But it's what Esau's always been doing. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, which is talking about Amerika, the mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts, which is just the deceitfulness of Amerika, you know, saying, oh, well, we'll give you freedom, we'll do all these things, but yet you just enslave people. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover the skirts upon thy face. And that's why Amerika is being exposed for all of its lies, all the time, you know, proving that Bashar al-Assad, you know, is not using chemical weapons against his own people. But you just take a good look around. I could just, in the next few minutes, just go around filming all the chemtrails. So who's the gas-killing animal? Donald J. Trump. Amerika. They're the ones that are poisoning the air, poisoning the food, and the water, you know. You can't even get anything healthy anymore. And even if it does say organic, can you really trust it? Behold, I am against thee, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. Yeah, all these other places, when this place falls, and the 200 million nuclear missiles come, they'll be like, is this the man that made the kings tremble? That did pretty much, you know, they'll be looking upon it. And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. That's another code word for Amerika. Who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comforters for thee? You know, because Amerika is modern day Nineveh. And thou shalt better than populace know that was situate among the rivers, that the waters round about it, whose rampart was the sea, and her wall was from the sea. You know, it's kind of like that bullshit song, Amerika, Amerika, you know, and from sea to shining sea. That's what this place is talking about. So you can see, though, that Esau's God and our God are really two different gods. You know, there's the God of Jacob, but there really is no God of Esau. They made that up, and all Esau ever does is steal other people's gods and claims that as his own. I mean, he doesn't just claim to be the Jews. He claims to be the Greeks. He claims to be all these nationalities. You know, you can't even get a biblical movie without Esau's image there. He's not just playing the Romans, he's playing the Jews too. Because Esau likes to take credit for everything because he has no identity of his own. He sold his soul pretty much for, well, he sold his birthright pretty much for just a grain of rice, for lentils, you know. And that's what our people have done, you know, sold out to the so-called white man, these Rothschilds. You know, anybody that you could consider a celebrity, they already sold their stuff to Esau. You know, that's why all these charges are coming against Bill Cosby. Once they own you, they can do whatever they want to. So, you know, whatever you've done, you know, they can make the charges disappear, but if you ever go against them, that's why all these charges are coming up against Bill Cosby, for example. Same thing with OJ and everything else. They can set you up for the fall, you know. So it's better to not even make deals, you know. Just do what you can to survive, but mostly come out here and teach. This is the time that you get to go out here and actually teach. This grace period is not going to be open up much longer. You know, you can tell now that the house of Israel is now being judged. And why? Because we've been out here teaching, and they still repent not. They will not let go of their idols. They're still celebrating things like 4th of July, and they're still celebrating Thanksgiving. You know, all these wicked festivities. Esau is not a friend to anyone. He's not even a friend to himself. Because you can talk about Redding here. Who do they blame for all the problems here? They blame the homeless people. Well, how do you think they got homeless to begin with? Well, you see, really, truly, to be honest with you, homeless people are much more ahead because they do not have to worry about paying the bills anymore. They've already passed that part. So they're not really so much owned. They can pretty much go wherever they want to. But, you know, the rich, the snob, you know, they say that, oh, well, it's the homeless. You know, we don't want the homeless here. Well, you know, that's just it, though. You caused the problem. Now you deal with the problem. And, you know, Esau will blame everybody else but himself, you know. But you see, that's what happens. When Satan is divided against Satan, his kingdom will not last much longer. And that's what's happening. That's why Russia and America are against each other. These are both Edomite-controlled areas. And they're against each other, so this system's about to collapse. And that's a good thing, because we want to see the collapse and death of America. We don't want to celebrate our enslavement. We want to celebrate the fact that this place is crumbling down. So, I hope this has been edifying. Until then, you know, just do what you can to survive, and, you know, pretty much we can look up because our redemption draws nigh. We're seeing more and more chariots, and we're seeing more and more visitations from Yahweh. But always fear that who can destroy our souls as well. Because Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakal is not playing around. It's now time to come back while this grace period is open. Shalom and Brakatah.